Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're about to look at the Neca Universal Monsters London After Midnight Ultimate Professor Burke. This is another figure in their horror collection. I purchased this thing at Big Bad Toy Store and it finally arrived today. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, Lon Chaney, London After Midnight Ultimate Professor Burke. Here he is. Looks like we have a London sort of background there. One side of the package, here's the figure with one of his expressions, and the other side, a little bit different. On the back, you can see the figure, a ton of different display options, a lot of accessories, London After Midnight. At the bottom, there is the barcode, in case that helps anybody. So this is one of NECA's ultimate figures. Window box packaging, you can hear the Velcro as I open it up. On the inside flap, here is Burke, and then here he is in the package with a ton of accessories. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with pretty cool stuff. He has a removable hat, a total of 5 different hands, 3 different heads, a lantern, a sort of cloak or shawl type thing, and then this giant rubbery batwing type set. Before I take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Professor Burke from London After Midnight. Now it's a very interesting film. It's a silent black and white film from 1927 and is considered lost to history. The last remaining copy was destroyed in a fire at MGM Vault in 1965. I don't really understand where the rest of them are, but it's interesting. The only thing you can see for this movie is sort of a recreation that was released in 2002. It's about 45 minutes long. It has a bunch of different stills for the film and then descriptions, and that's about it. So it's one of the most sought after silent films that people would like to see. In the film, he's sort of like a vampire-esque type character. He has the ability to hypnotize people. He ends up framing somebody else for the murders that he committed. Essentially, he just looks like a really creepy guy. So let's take a look. Starting with his head here, of course, the hat is removable. Take that right off, and like I said, he looks creepy. Look at this guy, bald head. It's played by Lon Chaney, that plays a lot of the different monsters of that era. I mean, look at his face. This guy looks... I wouldn't want to go anywhere near this guy. Dark, sunken-in eyes, bald head, creepy eyes, creepy smile, creepy everything. As we go further down, he's got what looks like a 3-piece suit under here. Or at least he has a vest, pants, another jacket. This little shawl thing comes off. And he looks... definitely freaky. They definitely did a good job on the way his face looks in the entire figure. Looks like double jointed elbows, single jointed knees, dress shoes. Overall, we have a winner in the obscure horror genre. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Very creepy. He looks like a chomo if I've ever seen one. Lon Chaney's a good actor, very diverse, plays a lot of different characters in his career. And here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now check out his accessories. And let's start off with his hands. He has a total of 5 of them, 3 right hands, and 2 left hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. They're both open hands. His right hand, pretty normal at his side. His left hand has sort of 2 fingers sticking out. Here's his next pair of hands. His right hand looks to be pointing. His left hand is sort of semi-open. It could maybe work as a gripping hand. And he has 1 additional right hand. This is a small gripping hand, almost like a pinching hand. This will probably hold his lantern accessory. Now let's look at his heads. He has a total of 3 of them. The first one has a laughing expression. The next 2 have a similar smile, but the middle one has some sort of relaxed eyes, and the last one's a wide-open, surprised-looking eyes, or excited. Here's a look at his first head. This is probably the creepiest head. He's got that big smile, eyes sort of sunken in, dark around them, sort of red tint to them, looking down like he's really happy and excited about what he's looking at. Here's his second head. This one's a little bit less freaky. He's got a smile. I don't know, he just looks kind of dumb. And here's his third head. He has the same dumb smile, but his eyes, bloodshot red, just looking right at you. This guy looks like he's been drunk for a week. Now for his lantern. It's simply a lantern. Holds it up top. It's got the gas light at the bottom. Here's Professor Burke holding that lantern. Next, we have his top hat. It's a black hat. It's got sort of black stripe around the base. Here's the professor without the hat on, and then with the hat attached. Then we have his coat. I keep referring to this as a shawl, but I'm not sure what the right term is. Please drop me a line in the comments below if you could educate me. Old London, sort of like a coat that goes on top of your coat and just covers up the top half. Made of a rubbery material. It's got a lot of give to it. Here he is, with his regular coat on, and then with this sort of shawl thing on top of his coat. Then we have a cloth soft goods of the same type of thing. It's a hard plastic collar to go around his neck, and then it has the cloth soft goods. It only goes around, I don't know, the top half of his torso. Here he is, with that shawl around him. Once again, using that term, don't think it's the right one, but maybe it is. And then the accessory, which I find the most interesting, and was most looking forward to, is this weird sort of bat cape type thing. Made of a rubbery material, semi-transparent. You see my finger behind there. And he has this giant sort of bat cape. His hands will be able to hold two little rings here. One goes around his neck. Very, very weird. There are some stills of him wearing this from the movie. Here's a look at Professor Burke with those bat wings on. If a guy like this came up to me and said he was Batman, he was going to save me some criminals, I'd probably go with the criminals instead. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing right about 7.5, 7.4 inches tall, which can translate to about 19 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up and down about that much. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. He has articulation at the top of the neck and at the bottom of the neck. Shoulders on a ball joint goes out about 90 degrees. Up, down, around. He's got double jointed elbows. They go in about that far with rotation. His wrist, rotate, and it's going to be hinged. In his torso, it's going to be one solid piece. He's got a ball joint in his waist. Rotate around. Forward and back. Legs, they got about this far. A little bit restricted from the clothing. Ball joints. The leg can rotate independently of the ball joint. Then go forward, not very much. Go to the side a little bit more. Back, not at all. Single jointed knee goes back about that far with a rotation. And then his ankle, forward and back. Tilt, rock. Rotate. Here's a look at Professor Burke with his bat wings. It's like this guy's ridiculously bad cosplay. Batman's been around for a long time, but this film actually predates Batman. It goes back as far as the 20s. You see this child molester going to maybe a kid's birthday party, dressed as Batman, giving him this crazy, crazy look with the horrible things he's planning to do. I asked my son, would you get in a van for this guy if he's offering you candy? My son simply replied, well, what kind of candy are we talking about? Now let's check him out. Next is some other action figures. Starting off with some other Neca horror figures. Here he is, next to Nosferatu. These are both from black and white silent films of the 20s. And they're both really hard to come by nowadays. Now, Nosferatu was actually ordered destroyed by court order. It was a ripoff of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and the court ordered all copies burned and destroyed. But of course, some of them always make it through. You can watch Nosferatu on YouTube today. Now, this Burke figure from London After Midnight, to my knowledge, it wasn't ordered to be destroyed. It simply got destroyed in a fire. And that doesn't really make sense to me, because that one copy got destroyed in the fire. I can't imagine nobody else had copies. Old movie theaters, fans, collectors, etc. Drop me a line in the comments below if there's some parts of the story that I'm missing. Wikipedia sure didn't share anything about it being ordered to be destroyed or anything like that. Here he is, next to the Phantom. Another almost equally as creepy looking guy. I wouldn't want to be around either one of these guys. Interesting fact, these characters were both played by Lon Chaney, and his son Lon Chaney Jr. played a bunch of other horror monsters as well. I believe the Batman villain, Clayface, the original version, Basil Carlo, that had no powers and was simply a movie actor that was displeased by them remaking his film, so he put on a clay mask and murdered the cast and crew. I believe that character was based off Lon Chaney. Lon Chaney has a very unique ability to transform himself using makeup. He's developed a nickname, Man of 1,000 Faces. A lot of similarities here. Here he is, next to the Wolfman, who was played by his son, Lon Chaney Jr. Here's Professor Burke, next to several different Neca Universal Monsters horror figures. And here he is, next to several more Neca Universal Monsters figures. And now, with some more modern horror icons, we have Leatherface, Michael Myers, Jason, and Freddy. And with even more modern horror icons, Ghostface, Jigsaw, Pinhead, and Chucky. Here's Professor Burke, next to Carter Burke from Aliens. These are both Neca figures. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a Neca toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his Neca brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from Neca toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some DST or Diamond Select toys. Here's Burke, next to a bag of Baja Blast Doritos. Yes, it's a thing. And here he is, next to some McFarlane and DC Direct figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, next to some SH Figure Arts and some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a pretty cool figure. It's a very creepy figure. It's for a movie that, honestly, I don't really understand. I've never seen it before. Probably none of you have ever seen it before because you can't really see it. I did check out the sort of stills with some text telling you the story on YouTube, and honestly, it's unwatchable. Now, the figure itself, it's a horror figure, and I collect those. They're pretty cool. This one can also double up as sort of a regular, old-school, civilian-type figure. I might use this guy as Jack the Ripper to fight my Gotham by Gaslight Batman figures. He's very creepy looking. I make a lot of jokes about being a child molester, but please do not misunderstand me. I'm not saying Lon Chaney is that. I'm not saying this character is that. Just a really bizarre, creepy looking character that fits that crazy description. His gold and paint job are excellent. The accessories are weird, but cool. I might use that cape if I ever reenact the scene where Thomas Wayne sort of dressed up as a Bat-type character in an old-school costume party that Bruce Wayne kind of bases Batman in a suit off of. Just a lot of weird, unique possibilities with this guy. His articulation is pretty good. Everything you expect from a modern Neca figure. Accessories are plentiful. If I were to rate this guy, probably give him a 7. I don't have any personal attachment to the film. It would make me like the character more. But the figure itself, it's nice for what it is. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.